Hey, it is Friday. Right now it's 3:25, Friday early in November. We're kind of in full swing in the holiday season already. It's hard to believe, but 2025 is nearing its end. And I thought this would be a perfect time to really start to talk about digital retailing and what that means. I'm going to have a quick sip of coffee, a little pumpkin spice, and I want to talk about digital retailing and really what it means to me. So I've been in the car business for a really long time. I had the great opportunity to grow up in this business. I've been around a long time. So when I was in my mid 20s, in the mid 90s, I started to work at a large volume Toyota dealership. And it was really in that era of my life that I was exposed to a lot of things. I was exposed to a lot of sales training. I was exposed to a lot of management styles, desking solutions. It was in the late 90s. I developed my first product named ePencil, the pioneering desking solution that I really feel like was one of the forerunners to digital retailing as we think about it today. And when I think back on those times, I really think about the difference between the old school type of selling cars and this new school or digital retailing era of selling cars, which I really feel like started in the mid to late 90s, early 2000s, as the internet was really starting to become part of the everyday use by everyday people using it to research, people using it to find trade-in values, to find invoice values, to do a lot of their research online before coming into the dealership. And that is just continued to evolve. And now we're really moving into this information age with AI and how customers can use ChatGPT and Google AI to do things that we never even thought possible 20 or 30 years ago. So looking at today how sales process really aligns with the digital retailing process within a dealership. A lot of what we do from a digital standpoint aligns with what happens in the analog world. And having a sales process that is antiquated, that really precedes this modern digital retailing era, I think is something that plagues a lot of dealerships. People that are my age that grew up in the car business and were taught by people that were in the business 20 years before us, and they were taught by people that were in the business 20 years before them. So we have this repeating of a lot of bad behaviors and bad ideologies of the way that we used to sell cars, where people didn't have the information. They weren't able to go to ChatGPT and get the information that they were today. They weren't able to go to the internet and get a trade-in value, to get a real market value from dealerships and big volume used car retailers that are willing to give real strong, good offers for trade-in values. We've been taught in this industry to evade. I can't tell you. Best price comes from my manager. You need to come in to get these prices. All of this is sales processes that are dated. So today, let's talk about how a sales process could be. And when we're building out a sales process for 2026, I would want to model it after something that is providing a VIP experience, that is providing an express experience, that is really working hand in hand with what's on a dealership website. Now, as a website provider, as a digital retailing technology provider, I really like to look at the handoff between what is happening online on your dealership website and how that translates and how that transitions into the in-store experience. And the understanding that the website isn't something that is siloed away from what's happening in the dealership showroom. It is part of that overall experience. So by embracing what happens on a dealership website in the dealership showroom and creating those consistencies and those transitions, I think is where there is some magic that can really explode the overall performance of a dealership. So when we're identifying what a sales process could look like in a store, this VIP express sales process, we can even model it after what happens when a friend of the owner, a friend of the dealer comes into the dealership. And if we think about that, let's say, for example, I'm the dealer, I'm the general manager, and I'm talking to one of my salespeople, I'm talking to one of my sales manager. I say, hey, I have my cousin or my uncle or my sister or my neighbor coming into the dealership. They're interested in getting a new Accord. Please do me a favor and let's take care of this customer. Let's try to make their process easy, friendly, fair, simple. It is that process that we can model and create our traditional sales process to align with that VIP Express sales process. We know when a friend of the dealer is coming in that we're going to kind of cut through it, right? We're going to walk the customer through an expedited sales process that is going to save the customer time and really provide a whole bunch of transparency in the process. So let me just kind of lay this out how I would see it when a friend of the dealer comes into the dealership. It would probably sound something like, hey, Mr. I'm doing this live, so sometimes I get a little bit distracted. So let me jump right back into this. Let's say, for example, a customer comes in. This is a friend of the dealer, and I say, this is John. Hey, John, my name is David. I'm one of the sales managers here. My dealer told me you're coming in. We're going to take really good care of you. I understand that you have a 3-year-old Honda Accord that you're looking at trading in, and you're looking at a new Accord. Is that correct? Excellent. What I want to do is I want to have my sales person, Donnie, go ahead and take your vehicle and drop it over to my used vehicle manager. He is going to do a full professional appraisal of this vehicle, and we'll be able to provide you a value of exactly what we'd be willing to pay for that vehicle, whether you traded the vehicle in or not. Now, while we're taking a look at your trade, Donnie, my salesperson, is going to walk outside with you, show you what we have in stock, and any one of those vehicles that you would like to take a test drive on, let's just go ahead and jump in it and allow Donnie, he's one of our best, to provide a little bit more information about the vehicle, provide you with some of the features and benefits of the vehicle. And then when you're done with that, we'll come in, we'll sit down, we'll go over some numbers, and if they work out for you, great. We'll make sure that we sharpen the pencil and give you the friends and family discount so we can get you in and out of here as quickly as possible. So wouldn't that be cool if you could model your sales process around what that VIP express sales process is? And this is exactly what happens on a dealership website. And I'm going to just share that part with you real quick. So I can go ahead and share my screen. So I'm just sharing a dealership website, and I want to talk a little bit about what an express sales process could look like from a website standpoint and how you can use this as a unique selling proposition to move more customers off of the website into your dealership showroom. So our express sales process is going to start with things like, let's go ahead and come right over here, go online buying. So our sales process is built into our Entice 360 websites, express buying at Brandon Honda, say hello to Shopper Express, the way car buying should be. Our process is designed around the way that you want to buy 100% online or 100% in our state-of-the-art state-of-the-art showroom or somewhere in the middle. We have this great explainer video that kind of explains what steps you can take online, and we could talk about the express cash or the express test drive. We can talk about upfront pricing. We can talk about an instant trade value. We can even talk about what our finance process looks like, where a customer can research and select different finance products. And then we can get the customer pre-qualified so we can make this whole process very easy. We also include things like on our dealership website, our express cash offer. This is where a customer can get a real offer in real time. Plug in your VIN, get in a few quick steps, we're going to give you a real offer. Transparency, express. We're going to invite the customer down to the dealership for express vehicle inspection. And you can really start to see how we're using this we're using the VIP Express sales process as part of our unique selling proposition. So when the customer comes into the dealership, we can really dive into that express sales process. So however they convert on a dealership website, whether they go through our digital retailing tool, DealMaker, whether they go through Trade Value Express, where they can get an express cash offer, so on and so forth. So all of that is available right on a dealership website. Now, what I can also do is a busy afternoon, apparently. I'm going to pop over here, and I'm going to go to here. So let's talk about sales process. So sales process is one of the most exciting things to me about retail sales, on how to create a culture in a dealership that is around providing this express sales process. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of give you this visual. So what this is designed to look like is a funnel. All right, we've been talking about sales processes as a funnel for years and years. And what I want to put right up here is all of your customers. Now, these customers here, they're going to start in the sales process in many different ways. These are going to be customers that call the dealership. These are going to be customers that end up just walking into the dealership. These are going to be customers that are referred by the manager, the dealer. So we got all of these customers coming in, and of course, as a digital retailing, new school type of a dealership, of course, we're going to have either an up system to make sure we're taking care of these customers as soon as they come into the dealership. Maybe we've set an appointment, and these customers are coming in with a redemption certificate for a test drive or a deal. Any way these customers are coming into the sales process, they're going to start here. So this very first step is that we're going to have our greeting, right? So the greeting, what we want to use is we want to use a signature greeting, right? A signature greeting is going to address the overall express sales process and the branding right at the get-go. I would not leave this to trial and error. I would have a signature greeting that you're training your salespeople to provide when a customer comes up to the dealership. We don't want to just say, hey, how you doing? Hey, welcome to the store. Let's have a signature greeting that is providing value to the customer. We love to use something that is going to brand the dealership and create a unique selling proposition, and we can deliver that right at point of contact. And it might sound something like, hey, welcome to ABC Honda, home of the lifetime warranty. My name is David. What can I get you a price or information on today? It's a great opening. It's a great signature greeting. It's going to move the customer right through the sales process. This is going to give the customer the ability to say, hey, I have an appointment with John, one of the sales managers. I have an appointment with David from the BDC. Or, hey, I'm interested in getting the best price on a Camry. However the customer is going to respond to that greeting, that's going to allow us to move into the next step. Now, the next step is where we're going to put the trade evaluation in the second step of the sales process. So why would we want to put the trade in the second step? The trade holds clues. If we can learn more about what they're driving right now, we'll be able to know what we want, what the customer is going to want in their next vehicle, and we can even compare it. What would you like different between the vehicle that you have right now? What does your vehicle that you have right now, what doesn't it have that you want it to have as your next vehicle? It's a great jumping off point. And again, what we're trying to do, as we know customers want, we want to try to take time out of the deal, right? How do we take time out of the deal? Well, let's go ahead and get the trade appraised while we're doing our selection and our demonstration. So how do we get there? We're going to want to have some sort of transition between that greeting and the trade appraisal. Here's a great way to do it, using a technique called information overload. One of my favorite techniques in automotive sales. Let's say the customer says, well, I'm here for a new Accord, just looking for what you have availability standpoint and looking for a best price. something like that. Hey, no problem. More than happy to share with you what we have in stock, give you our best price on a brand new Accord. In addition to providing you a price, what I'd like to be able to do is give you estimates on down payments, monthly payments, and figures on your car. Are you driving a Honda now? Great transition, using information overload, address what they're asking about, best price, availability, payment, whatever it is, say no problem, happy to do that. In addition to that, what we want to be able to do is provide you with estimates and down payments, monthly payments, and figures on your car. Are you driving a Honda now? A great transition into their trade. They say, no, I'm driving a Kia. Great. What year? What model? How many miles? How long have you owned it? We can go into some great profile building questions during that trade appraisal. So we've successfully transitioned into the trade appraisal. What I'd like to do is invite you into the dealership. Let's collect a little bit of information. We can do a walk around of your vehicle, and then we can drop that off with the used car manager, so we can provide you with an offer of what we'd be willing to give you for the vehicle, whether you trade the vehicle in or not. Is that something that you'd be interested in? So again, you can see that we're asking for permission. We're building value in what we're looking at doing. We're taking time out of the deal, and we do exactly that. We used to call this a pre-appraisal. Why do we call it a pre-appraisal, and why is it something that you should be doing today if you're not? This is where the salesperson walks around the vehicle prior to the official vehicle inspection by the used vehicle manager. This allows the salesperson to gain information about the customer and their existing vehicle, and allows us to start to build that profile. We ask questions like, how long have you owned the vehicle? If you don't mind me asking, what's your payment on that vehicle? Is there, what's your favorite thing about this vehicle? Or what does this vehicle not have that you want in your next vehicle? These are fantastic profile building questions that you can ask to find out so much about the buyer. One other great question, and this will just be another a great profile building question, is when you ask the question, if you don't mind me asking, what's your current payment on the vehicle? How can that customer answer? The customer can answer and say, hey, I don't have any payments. I've paid the vehicle off. I bought the vehicle cash. It's a lease vehicle. I just paid my last payment, or $457. And then a great follow-up question would be, if they have a payment, is, wow, how did you get your payment so low? The customer could say, whoa, wait a minute, that's not low. I'm actually looking at lowering my payment. Or they could respond with that and say, I got a really good interest rate, or I put a lot of money down, or there's a lot of that one little question right there opens up a huge opportunity for building a profile around the buyer. Wouldn't that be a much better way to find out what they owe on their vehicle right now, what their credit is, if the vehicle is paid off, just by asking that simple question? If you don't mind me asking, what's your current monthly payment on that vehicle? And then a follow-up, how did you get that payment so low? Those two questions right there will build the entire financial profile without asking how much you want to pay, how much you want to put down, those types of old school questions. All right, so now we're looking at step number 1, step number 2. So we're gonna do this pre-appraisal. We're walking around the vehicle. We're collecting information. I'm getting the VIN number. I'm getting the miles. I'm asking those types of questions. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this vehicle off with my used car manager. And if it were me, what I would do is I would bring my customer with me over to where we do the used vehicle inspections, whether that, if you have a separate used vehicle building or a specific trade appraisal area, which we could talk about that in a whole nother video. If you don't have a trade appraisal area, this is a problem you need to fix immediately. This builds so much credibility into the sales process, it'll blow you away. But anyways, we drop the vehicle off, we introduce the customer to the used vehicle manager and talk to them about the vehicle. As a salesperson, this is going to have your used vehicle manager or appraiser really get more information about that vehicle and hopefully elevate the value. So a good quick TO, and hey, this is Mr. and Mrs. Smith. They're going to be trading in this 3-year-old Honda Accord. We're going to go out and take a peek at what we have in inventory right now. We're going to take a drive, and then I'm going to work with John, the sales manager, to put some figures together. I just wanted to take a quick moment to introduce the customer, so you, if you had any questions about their vehicle, you're going to be able to know who the owner is. Great TO, great early management intervention into the sales process, and just think about how if we did this every single time with every single customer, how much more embedded that customer is going to be into the sales process, and how much more value we're building with the people and the experience with this, and saving time at the same time. One of the things I hate is when a salesperson parks the customer at a desk in the showroom, and then the salesperson drives the vehicle over to the appraisal area, maybe has a cigarette on while they're over there, and then comes back while the customer is sitting there for 15 or 20 minutes by themselves. Where if you brought the customer with, dropped the vehicle off, walked out to the new vehicle inventory, and then did your selection demonstration. And that's going to be the next stage, selection and demo. As we keep on rolling through here, so selection demonstration, of course, the selection part, I'm going to talk about one of the best techniques I've learned in automotive, and that is would you consider. So this is one of my favorite 3 words in the sales process, especially when it comes to negotiation and the finding of the right vehicle, the selection of the right vehicle. And dealer managers, what I would recommend that you do is that you set up your inventory in a way that is going to encourage the selection alternatives, or the would you considers. So would you consider is a great way to set parameters around the negotiation before we even get to the selected vehicle. Think of it this way. Let's say that we have our inventory set up, and I know inventory is tight, but let's say that we have our inventory set up in a way where we have the Accords and we have the Civics right here. And then maybe behind here, we have our HRVs, and then we have our CRVs, if you're lucky enough to have it set that way. But as we are walking into the inventory with my people to have them help them select a vehicle, whether it's a Civic Accord, the customer wants to drive an Accord, right? But as we're passing by the Civics, I can then say, hey, before we take a peek at the Accord, would you consider maybe looking at the Civic? Now that's going to be about $5,000 less for a comparably equipped vehicle. It is going to be a little bit smaller, but it is going to give you better gas mileage. We have a hybrid option, a lot of different trim levels. Is that something you'd consider? That question right there, would you consider a vehicle like this one that is about $5,000 less? That's going to save you somewhere between $100 to $120 per month. This is allowing me to put parameters around my negotiations. I've already showed the customer how I can save them $5,000 and save them $100 per month by going with a Civic versus an Accord. So if while we're in negotiations a little bit later, if the customer says, no, I expected this vehicle to be $5,000 less, or I'm looking at paying $100 less per month, you say, no problem. We got lots of different vehicles that we can make that work. Remember that Civic that I talked about earlier? All the same features you can get with the Accord, but it's going to save you about $5,000, put you exactly where you need to be. Is that something you consider looking at? No, I want the Accord. Fantastic. The Accord will be $5,000 more, $100 more per month. It allows you to negotiate with inventory versus negotiate with dollars. So that is the selection demonstration part of the sales process. Let's go ahead and get a clean little funnel here, right? So 1, 2, 3. So now I'm going to do a powerful presentation I'm going to be making sure that I'm doing my feature, function, benefit presentation. I'm going to wow the customer on how great these vehicles are. I'm going to make it exciting. I'm going to take them on a really nice route. And again, this is something we can talk about later, how you really do a great, powerful demonstration to get the customer excited about it, to create some urgency. And then we're going to move into the write-up. So the write-up is where we're going to present figures and overcome objections. At this point, we already got the trade value done. We've already selected the vehicle that the customer wants to buy. All we need to do now is figure out how the customers want to pay for it. And then how that's going to work is through our worksheet. Now, the worksheet that we generate for our dealers is based on the e-pencil worksheet that was created about 25 years ago. And this is where we're going to have a 9-payment grid with lease payments and loan payments. I recommend doing both. And the reason why is we're going to use both to negotiate each other. So we have the new vehicle here, we have the used vehicle here. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to present figures. And I'm going to have a way to present figures that is going to be scripted. That is going to be exactly the same way every single time to make sure that I'm delivering figures professionally and prominently and with confidence. Training your salespeople on how to present figures is a big opportunity to elevate your whole VIP Express sales process. And again, we talked early on about using a VIP Express sales process modeled after selling to your dealer's neighbor, right? And when you're selling to your dealer's neighbor, how are you going to present figures to the customer? We're going to make it easy. We're going to cut right to the chase. I'm going to tell you exactly what I can give you for my car, and I'm going to tell you exactly what your options are for your next vehicle. I'm going to provide you with a competitive price, and then you can just choose what payment's going to work best for you, because I really don't care how you pay for the vehicle as long as the whole deal makes sense. So how can you present figures? I'm going to go through this real quick. Hey, congratulations on selecting the vehicle that you want to own. All we need to do now is figure out how you want to pay for it. I have brought you some options. Now, based on the vehicle that you have selected and the current market value for your car, we have prepared 9 purchase payments based on an average APR, 9 lease payments based on 12,000 miles per year. All I need you to do is to circle the payment that's going to work best for you and your family. Give me your signature right there, and I'll get the vehicle ready for immediate delivery. Strong as strong can be, confidently presenting figures in a scripted way, and then we can sit back and we can allow the customer to ask questions. And at this point, this is what they're doing. They're going to ask questions about the deal. And a lot of times it's not going to be an objection, it's going to be a question. It's going to be, okay, so what this means is if I put $1,000 down, as it shows there, and finance it for 60 months, my payment's going to be $472. Yes, that's exactly what that means. If that works for you, just go ahead and get your okay right there, get your signature right there, and I'll get the vehicle ready for immediate delivery. This is one of my most favorite things. This is something that we coined back in the late 90s, and we call this circle and sign. So that's how we present figures, circle and sign. All I need you to do is circle the payment that's going to work best for you. Give me your signature right there, and I'll get the vehicle ready for immediate delivery. Ooh, that's way too much money. No problem. If you don't want to be $472 a month, I suggest that you put another $1,000 down, save you about $20 per month, and put you about $452 per month. Is that something you consider doing? Nope, I don't want to put that down. I want to put nothing down, and I want to be lower than that. No problem. We're a full service dealership here. We have lots of different options available. Hey, would you consider maybe looking at a lease, paying for the part of the vehicle that you're going to drive? That's going to actually put you with no money down. That could put you as low as $372 per month, save you $100 per month, and you only pay for the part of the vehicle that you are going to use. Is that something you consider doing? Nope, I don't want a lease. No problem. If he says no to a lease, what is he saying yes to? He's saying yes to a purchase. Customer still continues to object. You can say, hey, no problem. Hey, remember looking at that Civic? I can get you all the features that you have in the Accord, but save you about $5,000, which would lower your payment about $100 per month. Is that something you consider doing? Nope, I don't want a Civic. No problem. That's going to put you right at $472 with $100 down. Or what we could do is extend the term maybe another 12 months, and that would lower your payments probably $15 to $20 per month. So as you can see, we're working through how we're presenting figures, we're answering questions, we're overcoming objections, and we're moving the customer closer to agreement in a VIP express sales process that's designed around being friendly, transparent, making it fun, making it easy. This is the way that we should be selling in this digital retailing era. That is about what I'm going to cover today. Hey, let me just get back here. So we covered a lot of ground today, even though this wasn't too long of a video, I hope. I appreciate you checking this out if you're still with me. If you are, please do me a favor. If you're watching me on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. You'll be notified when a new video gets posted to my channel, and it'll really help me reach more people like I was able to reach you. Appreciate that very much. And if you really want to get into it, do me a favor and just hit me up with a little smiley face in a comment, and I'll respond back. I appreciate it very much. As with all of my videos, what we really want to do is we want to figure out how we can provide information, processes, techniques, technologies that is going to move your dealership into this digital retailing era. So you can become a digital retailer. And this is how a digital retailer thinks. And of course, you're going to find this video and many others on entice.com.